And just like that, isa na namang linggo ng MPL Philippines Season 10 ang nakalipas, and we're gonna go ahead and look back. This is Rico at your service. My name is Leo, ang inyong host sa araw na ito on this lovely, rainy Wednesday night. Can't believe it. It's just another day and then MPL na ulit. We brought in a couple of special guests. You're used to seeing them on the MPL broadcast as well. Let's bring in Renmar Santa Cruz and Sonah, our lovely guests for the evening. Renmar, how you doing? Sonah, kumusta?
Good. I'm very, very good. Everything is all right. I just was very surprised how close my face was to the camera there. So I have to make a mental reminder to stay back. I don't want to scare people who jump on and this is like the first thing they see.
They're gonna be like, "Oh, yo, you gotta lean back for like a little bit." But yeah, everything's good here, man.
Close.
I hope you guys are good too.
Personal space, kahit na online. Wait, personal space. Whoa.
Yeah.
Stay away.
How have you guys been? It's just been rainy. I hope you guys have been dry or at least safe. May nagkakasakit ba? I'm getting a little sniffly.
I've been getting kind of sniffly too, but just more, yeah, a little bit. But all right, nonetheless, like nothing too drastic or to worry about. So I'm good.
Yeah. Same here too. Like, I'm always trying to go for a run as much as I can because it's not as rainy here as people thought it would be. So I'll always take my chances whenever rain's not around.
Okay, good to hear. Lalo na for you, Sonah, given that you are among the crowd a lot, again, you have to make sure you're safe, you're healthy.
Yes.
Kami, it's our germs around each other, so, but you specifically.
Why do you have it say
speaking
that?
of which,
Why do you have to say it like that?
before we move on, I just wanted to check in on you, man. It's been 2 weeks of MPL Season 10, 2 weeks since you have assumed your role as the courtside reporter. Kumusta naman yon?
Oh man, I love my role so much. Like I get to sit with people, I get to talk to people a lot. And sometimes our conversations are not just in front of the camera, you know. I always talk to them like whenever we're out of broadcast. And it's so nice
True.
because I get to know a lot of people. I get to like see not only which teams they're supporting, but at the same time where they're coming from. And they're like some people got out of work, escaped from work just to be with us. And I kind of don't want to say that because it's gonna jeopardize their work. But at the same time, it's just, people make time or people go out of their way just to be with us in broadcast. So it's such a nice feeling.
True.
But it's your work, guys. As much as we want you to be there, go do your work.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine how you do what you do because I don't think any of us could replicate that energy. So, again, congrats, Sonah, and ang saya panoorin yung ginagawa mo. Real quick before we move on, shout out to Angel, to Ray Ash, Excalibur, members of the Couch Gang, to Jem as well. Guys, kung nandiyan kayo, shout out. Go ahead, join the chat. And as well, our friends on YouTube and Kumu. I have to check in, YouTube and Kumu. Meron nga pala tayo doon. So, holler over there as well. Let everyone know Recall is happening. Before we go ahead and talk about our topic summary, there was something that was announced during week 2, and that is M4. Confirmed na. Again, I think we heard about M4 at MSC. Pero ngayon, confirmed na rin ang ating venue. Alright? A lot of people are asking, saan yung M4? Ganyan. Maybe it's here, maybe it's there. It was announced just this weekend that it's happening in Jakarta. And a lot of people are saying na parang long time coming to. Kasi nga, M4 is owed a venue to the champion. And M1 pa lang dapat sa Jakarta na.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's not home court for anyone except Indonesia, and the Indonesian fans. We all know just how passionate they are. So it's gonna be an absolute battle for crowd noise. But so exciting! Like if there's any Filipino fan or fan of Philippine teams like who get to watch there, oh man, they're gonna have to be ready to just go all out like every day to compete with the crowd noise. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I think Sonah's gonna be eaten alive there. Kaya mo mag-courtside doon?
Yeah. Kaya. You can just imagine, man. Like, everyone, when I hear them cheer, okay, if ever RQ wins, right? Who's here to support RQ? And then everybody's gonna be like, we support RQ! And then I'm no longer gonna be able to say anything. But just imagine, man. Like, New Year, tapos ML kagad. Like, that's all I have to say,
That'll
man.
be a first. That'll be a first. A lot of people have to start buying their tickets now. It's about what, 3 or 4
Yeah.
months away. Go ahead, get your tickets na guys, okay? So there will be 16 teams from Indonesia all the way to the Mekong River representatives. That's, I think, a total of 16 teams that'll be joining. And there's more about the M4 World Championships that we'll talk about later on in the show. Of course, here's a quick rundown what we're covering here tonight. We're going to recap, of course, week 2. We'll talk about the teams that are struggling in season 10. They went from top to bottom. Of course, it's Onic time, their own kind of Onic time. We'll talk about our power picks, power rankings as well, and guest coin to wrap up some signature segments here on the show. As well, quick shout outs to Leon and to RJ yan, on Facebook. Okay, so with that being said, balikan na natin. Let's talk about week 2, starting with day 1. It's 2 matches that was covered here on that first night. Let's first talk about RSG versus TNC. TNC still could not catch a break. Ano ba nangyari dito? I think, Renmar, you know a little something. I think you read into the situation a little more.
Yeah, RSG, after this, I think a lot of us really felt like they were back, but as we would see later on in the weekend, that wasn't exactly the case just yet. But of course, congrats to the defending champions. They finally got that first win. And TNC, they, even though they weren't able to win a game here, they had their moments of brilliance. They looked competitive. If I'm not mistaken, it was actually their second game now actually holds the title for longest game of the season, and it wasn't just because one was playing defensive often. It was just TNC put up a really good fight, and casting this game, it really felt like this was TNC's time to shine, to finally get a game win or maybe even a series win. That's how competitive it was. But then eventually TNC just still couldn't find it, and RSG were the ones who were able to take that win.
Pero slowly may progression naman, may developments, right? I think here in this game, maybe it's the fact that it's Kenji. Baka nga medyo last minute yung sinking ng RSG dito. That's why TNC kinda used that to their advantage. But they still couldn't get the W. I don't know. Sonah, you watch the games. I mean, sometimes we have to cast it, so parang iba yata. But you're always there. You have eyes on the matchup. What did it look like here for RSG and TNC?
Well, RSG, it's like more on what's gonna be of utmost importance pagdating dun sa gusto talaga nila eh. Like this time around, RSG, I like that they focused more doon sa mga little things na ginagawa madalas ng TNC last season, which is yung mga delays dun sa objectives, hindi na nila nagagawa as much. And doon siguro nahirapan yung TNC to execute in their plays. Most especially now that we also have Genji, as you've mentioned a while ago. We're so used to seeing Nats play at the same time. Pero given that RSG has a lot of considerations that they also need to place in their lineup, it's like Kenji was also placed there dahil na rin dun sa gutom at gigil ng player na yon, playing from at least a few seasons back up until now. Alam mo pa rin and ramdam mo pa rin yung gigil from this specific player, and nadala rin ito ng RSG. But yeah, they really need to step it up a lot more, and I do know that they can do it. Same goes with DNC.
So the champions take it home again with the help of Clutch Time Genji. Let's talk about the next matchup. It's Bren versus Echo, and if I'm not mistaken, Echo loud pa rin to. There you go. All right, Echo proud this day too. But yes, Bren Esports got swept here by Echo, and the San duo, Sanford and Sanji, cement their legacy here, and napakalinis. I think this is the best we've seen Echo in a while. Renmar, what do you like better? Echo Loud or Echo Proud?
Okay, my answer is gonna sound super safe, but I like them both equally. But if you ask me which player I'm really looking at right now in Echo, it's going to be Sanji. The how well Sanji positions in the map, the fact that he's already had I think 3 or 4 performances na kung saan wala siyang patay in a game win. It's incredibly impressive for someone who's playing his first season in the MPL-PH, and especially with this lineup of Echo, that he can compose himself. And of course, maganda din na Sanford's getting more chances to really prove himself, and he's gelling well. And I like that the San duo is highlighted, and people might be thinking it's just because they're the youngest, they're the bunsos, it's San, it's a cute thing, but really their effect on the games is great. Sanford, when he plays the game, especially if you give him like a mobile XP laner or an XP laner that can win the lane really well.
All right, welcome back. Pasensya na. We got a quick hiccup there, but we are gonna get back on track. Let's continue talking about the recap. Day number 2. Let's jump into it. We're still with Renmar and Sonah, and it's clear that there's still a lot to look out for in Echo. They are gonna play another match, and that's in day 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at the day 2 recap. We start with MPL-PH versus Next Play EVOS. Could have sworn this was gonna go either way. Pero, sige, ganito. Si Sonah muna, because Renmar and I, clear fans of MPL. Sonah, did you see something that MPL could have done to beat Echo, to beat MPL?
This time around, Next Play had some sort of rotations that they were trying to capitalize here in terms of the ganks that they've been doing. Whereas Onyx managed to do it a lot more well. Like in terms of those gold lane matchups, it was nets that resulted to somewhat more gold per minute averages than Donut. It's because Donut was always given the attention from the side of Onyx-PH. And feel ko NXPE needs to take care of Donut a little bit more. Pero nagawa naman nila yon in like their second game or in one of their wins in this specific series, which is why I know that they would be able to do it. But yeah, surprised din siguro yung Cho pick coming in from Onyx-PH, which was not a lot of people were expecting to be placed in the jungle position, and I think a lot of you guys have something to say else about this.
I watched the video by Bonchan, and he was analyzing the draft between Onyx and Next Play EVOS here. Remember, do you agree? Yung game 1, medyo lamang ang draft ng Onyx, or at least throughout the whole series. Parang Onyx is always one step ahead when it comes to their win conditions. So this is what I read from the game.
Yeah, definitely. I even said it dun sa English broadcast na Onyx-PH are one of the teams I really look up to now this season in terms of how they draft the game. And I think part of it is because, as the weeks go on, we learn more about Onyx because they are the newest squad this season. But it's just really impressive how they draft games. And Onyx versus NXPE, in game number 3, they really adjusted their draft. And because the order kept going the same way, they realized we just need to change one little thing. And then when it got into the last pick for Mycophobia, if I'm not mistaken, that's when it was NXP who were just put in a really tough spot. Because in that position, in game number 3, ang hirap talaga ipaganahan yung Jawhead against the lineup that they were playing. And I think lately we've already been seeing kung bakit medyo nag-fall off si Jawhead in the meta, because it's not like he can do what he used to do in terms of the reset, the objectives, and all that. And even more so, even if he can get yung mga catch niya, it's not gonna work. Although Mycophobia did have that MVP game number 2 with the Kufra, as we see here on the screen. That was a really great game by Miko and NXPE. Onyx, grabe talaga yung utak nila sa drafting, how they adjust on the fly, how they're not afraid to just keep sticking to the same thing, just to force the opponent to keep following the tempo. And then next thing you know, you're actually following the tempo of MPL-PH kasi nagda-draft sila in the way na they want this game to go out and get drafted. This is the game that even it's now increasing the reputation of the Selena for Super Friends. Rapid Dude had an amazing game when he played that Grok. I think he had an amazing series all throughout. He played the Cho in game number 2. He played the Cho again in game not in game number 3. It was a different one. It was the Ruby. The Ruby pick was really good for Rapid Dude. So this was a statement game for Onyx in the sense that this is how we draft. Respect it. These are the strength of our picks. Yeah, we dropped the game, but it goes to show we go toe to toe. We can go toe to toe definitely with really talented teams such as NXP.
Yeah, so far hindi talaga kumukupas pa ang Onyx. Like, again, this is gonna sound biased as hell, pero almost every single game that they've had or series in Season 10, well, there's only been 2 weeks, are blockbusters. Parang parati kami matututunan or at least parating intense yung mapapanood mo. So, again, worth watching, especially live. The energy is undoubtedly palpable. But then again, at the end of the day, 2-1 lamang, nanalo ang Onyx dito. I can't wait to call it. Again, I don't know why, sakto parate na kapag Onyx naglalaro, I don't get to cast it. So far, I don't remember if I've casted at least a single series, pero I'm waiting to make the call. Nothing but nets, right? Pag nananalo ang Onyx PH. Nothing but nets!
I like it.
Let's go into the second match of the night. Echo versus Omega. Ito. This is also another blockbuster. 2-1, nanalang Omega. Game 2, I think, is where the bitch top nag-clutch ang parehong team. Nagkaroon ng base race. Were we at the desk, Renmar, when this happened?
No, I was in the analyst stand. I think this is the
How'd
one
you
where I
analyze
did
that?
Which one? Game number 3 or the entire series?
The entire series.
Game number 1, of course, it was, if I remember correctly, that was the one where there were no marksmen on the side of Omega. And so they couldn't make their lineup work because JP played so well on the Natalia, and then 3mar said, "I'm back, guys. Let me introduce you to 3mar TP." And he ended up getting MVP. And then game number 2, I think with everything that went on, I went back and rewatched the clip. I wasn't able to properly explain what happened in those crazy ass last moments. Wherein somehow Omega were able to hold on despite Echo being in the base with the Lord, and they were just moments away from winning, although there were a lot more hits they needed to do in the base, but somehow Renjo, and I'm forgetting which other member of Omega they were with there, were able to hold on. Renjo did an amazing job of just not letting 3mar go back home, because that meant the pressure for the minion waves would be there and increases their chances of winning. And so eventually it was just this wild scramble of, oh my goodness, can Omega actually come back to this from out of nowhere? They had the Lord, they had the minion waves. It was crazy. And the Lord spawning just in time, because I remember Echo decided to go for it and they were like, all right, let's end this. And then they weren't able to get the Lord, but the Lord respawned in the Omega base just in time, and that added and they helped out in the Omega defense, especially with the minion waves that were just there. So yeah, man, this was wild. Itamax showing really great gameplay with the Faramis as you see on your screens. It was also a good game by Echo Proud, if I'm not mistaken, they're called, right? It's
Yeah, Echo Proud to. Yeah.
Yeah. JP coming back, Outplay putting himself on the map, Zyda showing his talents that Carl Tizzy, his fellow teammate, said that uy, malakas mag-jungle si Zyda, or Zyda's really strong as a jungler. This was so fun, and it was so hectic, and it was so memorable.
Ito yun. I think we're moments away from the thing happening. I think this is the build up to it. Sonah, can you describe what happened in the studio, in the arena? Kasi as a caster, my senses blocked out, bro. Okay, we'll take it. We'll save it for later.
Yeah.
Pero my senses blocked out when that base race happened. Can you share with us any feeling nun sa studio when it was happening? Nung parang That's my
Dude, like, yeah. I think that was the perfect impression to put it. But at the same time, when I was looking at them, it was like at first when Renmar or the rest of Echo was already pushing back into the base, it's like, okay. Omega was like, sige, tanggap na namin. Parang, sige. Tapos bigla lumabas si Lord. Paglabas to Lord, talagang hiyawan yung lahat, man. Everybody went crazy. And then isa-isang bumagsak until Renmar was the only person standing. And then the rest of the members of the barangay started standing up too. So everyone else was like, uwe. I just didn't know what was happening, man. And then Echo, at the same time, they were also expecting the near win pagdating ng game number 2. But yeah, Rengio just managed to clutch it out. I have to say, man, the Lord was right there at the perfect time para maghiyawan yung barangay and got them the series win. But I have to say, man, Echo, most especially itong si Outplayed, si Zyda, and at the same time si JP, first game back after such a long time, they held their own. But unfortunately for them, it's gonna be the first defeat of Echo in a series. And Omega, man, iba yung suporta nila. Sobrang solid talaga.
I love it. That exchange led to a series win for Omega. And yeah, even if you can tell the story, even if you can replicate the feeling, iba pa rin talaga nung nandun ka. And I swore I called it. I think ang kasama ko nun sa desk si was that Rockheart and Midnight, or one of those combinations. Again, the weekend is a blur, all right? Pero I think I verbally said, it's over, that's it, it's a sweep. Tapos, reverse sweep happened. Amazing come out there for both teams. But the last match of the night is also something to behold because this is a blacklist match, and as you know how blacklist matches go, punuan talaga sa studio. This is a sweep though by blacklist, and this opens up a question: what's going on with Bren, right? Because I don't think blacklist did anything different here. If anything, they went back to their old ways. They played like they did in season 7, diba? So what's going on, fellas? Like, do you guys have any like theories as to what Bren can do to adjust? Because the game's gonna play out. It's a relatively quick game for both times.
I am one of those people who were actually impressed by the performance of Bren Esports in this match. Well, specifically game number 1. Game number 2, they were just outplayed by the deadly trio of Venus, Wise, and Haji. They controlled the mid lane of the game so much that Oheb barely had any problems with farming. Jome was doing his absolute best to stay alive, stay close. As you can see here by the 10-minute mark, this was already a 5k gold lead for Blacklist, but it's only a level apart, which means Jome is doing his absolute best to stay alive and keep Bren in this game because he's the ultimate winning condition here. But Blacklist, they just really showed their mastery again with who they are. You said it. It feels like they just ran it back. I do want to highlight though game number 1, where it was close enough for most of the game until the first Lord of the game, wherein it was Blacklist was able to take it. And after that first Lord, it was just Bren on the defensive. And the fact that Bren Esports dragged the game out as long as possible, still able to make plays. Like I remember there was one point in the game, the Lord was like 20 or 30 seconds from respawning. Blacklist were already there. Edward was in the bottom lane trying to defend because 3 members of Bren Esports were in the bottom lane trying to find an opening through there. Although the MVP of the game, Haji on his savior, was actually able to use his Dawning Light to clear the minion wave. Hence why Bren weren't able to push out from bottom. If they were able to push that out, there was a good chance Bren would have been able to break the inhibitor in the bottom lane. But that didn't happen. But still, Bren Esports, I really appreciate like what they did in game number 1, because this was a game that's really difficult for a Franco, because the Franco is up against a Diggy, and the placements of the bombs, those little Diggy rabbits, because of the skin, it's a rabbit. It's not an alarm bomb anymore, and they explode. It's difficult for Franco to find positioning in the map to get that hook turnaround, and that's one of the main conditions for Bren to turn the game around, if they can get that key hook. Although Ogun did that beautiful fake back to base, flicker back to Oheb, ultimate to catch him off guard, because it really looked like Bren Esports were going to go all the way back to base and try to defend, but then Ogwen went back and turned it around. It was Bren had some great points that they showed here, and I feel like with refinement they'd be a really strong middle of the table team. Like I feel really good about this Bren Esports squad, but definitely it was Blacklist's day. Oheb had some really great moments, of course, with using the Wind of Nature at key moments. Every time Joan would come in with the Blazing Duet, it was in this game. Wise showing a Benedetta jungle, still utility in a sense, but still really freaking deadly. Haji showing how great he is with artillery and really backline poke heavy mages. It's a respectable showing by both teams, but a well-deserved win for Blacklist.
Yeah, so we end day 2 here with a sweep by, again, Blacklist International out to reclaim the crown. Let's move on to day number 3, and here is where, again, lalo na cement yung fact na Onyx is real. Diba? It's Onyx versus RSG, and I was happy to see a 2-1. Honestly, I was happy to see a 2-1, but I didn't expect a sweep like this. Sonah, where were you before this match happened? Where were you? What were you thinking? Naisip mo ba na posible to?
I honestly thought this was gonna be a tight matchup, given that RSG is indeed our defending champions of the league, but Onyx seriously made the statement with this man. I thought it was supposed to be a 2-1 in terms of series, just like you, but it seems like Onyx somewhat figured out what to get in terms of the draft, most especially with the glue that was picked 2 consecutive times in this matchup, and Genji was the one who was using it as in the same way, right? So it is indeed another surprise for them. That glue was somewhat able to work, but unfortunately it didn't, because Sensui, I have to say, is playing very well, and I see him as the same jungler as, I wouldn't want to say, because I'm talking about Onyx in this one, and it is truly it truly resembles a player, right? A very well-known player right over here that we are accustomed to seeing, mainly focused on objectives, focused on getting the setups done, and that is what we're usually seeing, right? With the Cho and the Akai, like it is somewhat of his identity already. And given Rapidot is already there to assist and help them with the setups that they've been doing, they've merely were able to successfully get in with the engage that they want to do and just make it a difficult time for RSG.
Yeah, and then in game 2, they got the Selena, and then Sensui is still playing the Akai. So I think you were just avoiding saying the magical word wise. But yes, Sensui wise. Could have sworn, takpan mo yung pangalan. Maybe that's it, right? Maybe that's it. But I think RSG has a lot to figure out. We'll talk more about RSG later. But again, for those who didn't watch the weekend, it is a sweep by MPL-PH here. They made short work of the champions. I can't believe it. And then we close up the weekend with TNT versus Omega. And here, Omega Omega with Kiel, VJ, and Miko finally get their first series win. I actually enjoyed it. I love this Omega. I love this faster Omega na parang Action Jackson si Kiel in mid. The king is back. I do believe. Renmar, do you agree? Is the king back?
Oh, definitely. And KLVJ as a player, his story has a special place in my memories when it comes to MPL, because I remember back in MPL Philippines Season 4 when I had to fill in as a host for one day. And the first interaction I had with a team, to interview a team, it was a Sun Sparks match, which they won. And KLVJ was the young man I interviewed. And as early as then, I was thinking, wow, this guy's special because the dude really knows how to answer his questions, and he is a very great player. Although he did have that fall off, and it's great to see him thriving. The fact that the Julian mid lane for him seems to be working so well, even though the first time we saw him, it wasn't. They weren't able to get victories. They couldn't close out the games against Blacklist, if I'm not mistaken. However, it was still a great showing, and then they replicated that this time around. KLVJ is playing really well. He played even game number 2 that I feel like is very different from what we know of KLVJ, but man, his positioning was great. Miko, really, really, dude, the fact that he's in the same team as Chaknu with Omega, I hope he continues to really grow his skill, learn everything from this entire team, from the Mamba himself. Because little by little, I'm really starting to get on that boat and get that feeling of, if ever one day we see Chaknu have to not play for a season, or maybe he'll retire early. Of course, I don't want to see that, but what if, right? He's slowly putting himself as someone who could really fill in those Mamba shoes. But at the end of the day, he is still Miko. He's still his own guy. He's still his own identity, you know? It was a great showing by Omega. And of course, this was the series where, if I'm not mistaken, Kelra did not fall at all. He had the final KDA of 19-0-3 for 2 games. That's insane.
Let's leave it at that. It's insane. Naubusan na ng salita sa Renmar because of how Kelra played, bro. Which led to the sweep by Omega. It is what it is. Those numbers, you can't even fake it. You can't even, I wish I could write it, but even then it would feel weird, but it actually happened. So with that being said, it leaves TNC now in shambles and reeling. Honestly, I went to the bathroom right after the match and I saw Bentings. Sabi niya, Coach, di talaga makaisa eh. Ang hirap humanap ng momentum. And I think I needed to run back to the desk after. Or, basta may nahabol ako, kaya hindi ko na nakausap si Ben. Pero, that is something that we need to talk about. And that brings us to our main topic, one of our 2 main topics for the night. It's about going from top to bottom. I didn't mean for that to sound anything more than MLBB. Basta, from top to bottom, 2 of the strongest teams from Season 9 find themselves now struggling in Season 10. Here's a quick look back at Season 9, Week 8. Look at this. RSG and TNC finished in 1st and 2nd. They were top seed in the playoffs. They were so sure, right? Sobrang ganda ng takbo nila nung Season 9, but now in Season 10, here's where we are after Week 2. It's a far cry from how they finished last season. There they are. 7th and 8th, sitting at 1 and 2 and 0 and 4. Now, the question is, what's going on? Anong meron? Let's start with TNC first. Not a single game win. How do you guys see this? Anong basa ninyo? Let's start with you, Sonah. What's going on with TNC?
I honestly feel like TNC is just having a hard time trying to adjust to the new meta, because they've had some little things before that wouldn't possibly work right now, given na ayun nga, there were some adjustments in the in the patch wherein yung purple objective and the orange objective na madalas nilang ginagawa na ginugulo nila, giving SDZYZ a good time or a good space para maka-clear and maka-farm siya ng mga kailangan niya. It's not the same anymore given the current patch has already addressed that. And at the same time, they just need to find a new wave. I'm honestly wondering if King Salman will ever get to play, most especially now that they need
Ooh.
somewhat of a new spark. But given the lineup that we have here, I think they would be able to execute it. And given that Yasuo is also currently at least at the top 10 in terms of the gold per minute, so they're still making the right moves. But in terms of the big breaks, they simply couldn't have that just because the others were also getting theirs at the same way. Like, tatalo lang talaga sila in terms of that one final clash and they all get wiped out. So hopefully if they would be able to, make some use of that problem, baka makakuha sila ng games this week.
So I know you mentioned King Salman. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
King
man.
Salman. I don't know if that's the answer. I can't say for sure kasi hindi ko rin nakakaalam. Honestly, I don't know what the dynamic is between the main five and Salman or even what's going on with Coach Scholar and Coach 413. But I do agree. It might be something alongside of the meta game and the pacing, right, of Season 10 compared to Season 9. Renmar, how about you? What do you think is going on? Let's start first about talking about TNC. Ano nga bang pwede nilang gawin pa? And what good are they doing right now in Season 10? Like, what can they leverage para makabawi ng points?
Well, from time to time, I do like what they decide to show in the draft. However, more often than not, there are. I'm sure they're incredibly knowledgeable individuals, like all of them, because like drafting it isn't just a coaching thing; it's a total team effort. But sometimes you have in certain specific matchups, there are certain picks that go through that makes you wonder like why did that go through. Same goes for RSG, but as we're talking about TNC, but what I like about TNC is that even though it looks like the odds are stacked against them, there's still some games na nakakahanap pa rin sila ng paraan kung paano maka-comeback, makaka-regain sila ng control sa mapa, makaka-push out sila from a defensive position. And in those moments, dun na natin nakikita yung brilliance nung TNC, especially with Ben Things and the duo that he has roaming the mid lane with Escalera, one of the deadliest duos from last season. So it's good to know that that is still there. But really, with these two teams, but right now it looks like really more for TNC. It's just that understanding, and if not understanding, it's familiarity kung paano ka maglalaro around the meta that we have now. Again, I've said this in the broadcast. I think one of the biggest changes that really affected teams that were very objective heavy, especially teams that enjoyed and reveled in team fighting for objectives, was the fact that Demon Slayer no longer has that inherent advantage in terms of being able to secure the main objective. So
less damage
that
overall.
it isn't just less damage overall. And again, going back to what happened in week 1 in season 9, SDZYZ secured 19 out of 21 or 20 out of 22 turtles across all games in just week 1 alone. That's absolutely insane. So if you have a player and a team who are so used to winning turtles and being able to get turtles easily, especially the second and the third turtle, which eventually leads to a snowball in the mid game, which makes it easier for them to get the Lord, which makes it easier for them to control the map by the mid game, and then you take that away, and then it becomes more unpredictable in terms of who gets the turtles. We've had so many different, not just the junglers be the ones who secure the turtles this season. Mid laners have secured the turtles. XP laners, gold laners have been securing the turtle more so now than they have in the first 2 weeks or first 3 weeks even of MPL Philippines Season 9. So I think now it's just down to the familiarity. I'm sure they'll find the groove. I'm sure they have the knowledge to come up with a new textbook for, okay, this is how we're going to do it now. But it's understandable as to why we're seeing them struggle this point.
Not to cut you off, but you mentioned about Escalera and Ben Things. At least yun nandun pa. Diba? At least parang meron pang connection yung duo ni Ben Things and Escalera, which is, again, their prime was Lilia Lolita. Sobrang bastos ng Lilia Lolita. Like, I swear to G, I have memories of that from Season 9. But you also brought up the change in the jungler. Now I want to ask, both of you gentlemen, is the SDZYZ and Ben Things connection still there? Kung kita pa natin yung Escalera Ben Things, how about SD and Ben? SD and Ben is also very important kasi sila na lang yung natira from old TNC, right? Is that still there? Because I think that's the one that might be missing.
I'll say this real quick. I don't know how to say for sure if their connection in terms of their comms are still there in terms of their camaraderie, because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes and we can't hear them. However, in terms of gameplay wise, because of the changes that I mentioned earlier, it will affect the connection somehow, because something's off with your groove. Something has changed that changes the tempo of how you play. So it will throw off connections to anyone, of the connections of anyone who experiences that.
Yeah. Parang hindi lang siya dun sa timing eh. Not just in game ah. Kasi of course in their off time, not when in the MPL, for sure during scrims, during RG, naglalaro yung mga yan eh. So is it so weird to assume that they couldn't get their pacing done there too? Kasi sa totoo lang, what I watch when we cast TNC games is SD and Ben, they're not in sync anymore. There are times, especially when SD's playing the Hayabusa, is parang, why is he alone? Why is he forcing things? And it doesn't happen with NXPE. When NXPE plays the Hayabusa, H2's not chasing kills. But when it's SD's like, he really just used Shadow Kill to clear waves and not to help in big team fights. Again, pacing and game time could be something else. Pero yun lang sa akin, parang medyo disconnected si Ben and SD. I don't know. Sonah, do you agree?
Yeah, I think I do agree. I mean, the connection would be there, lalo na teammates sila, but it could be better, right? Like there were just some instances that Ben things isn't there for SD, and the same goes for, or vice versa, right? So pakiramdam ko nandun lang talaga mag-aatalo. It's in terms of trying to figure out what they're supposed to do at that moment. Kasi when you get inside like sa stage, you're gonna be like, okay, yes guys, we're gonna do this together. But when you get in the game, you need to be sure na you're really gonna do it all at the same time, right? Because it's true, like we are heavily objective based, and the lack of damage wouldn't be a problem, pero the pick-offs are. So every time na may nawawala na isa or dalawang tao in terms of your composition, it's already gonna go bonkers for like the next few minutes kung magkakaproblema kayo. So you need to stick together. Kailangan iisa yung mentality nyo, and hopefully that mentality would be built up all throughout the week.
Yeah, go bonkers in a bad way. All right, so we covered TNC, but how about RSG? I think it's safe to say after this weekend's performance and maybe the injection of Kenji, this is less of a problem. I think for RSG, it's also meta-wise, but I don't know. This is a different thing entirely. Pero feeling ko now slowly, they're doing okay. They'll be better. I don't know. Why did it have to come through Kenji though? Bakit hindi yung MSC winning lineup? Bakit hindi yung Season 9 winning lineup? But I think for RSG, this is just my opinion, it's less of a problem. I think they have less to deal with than TNC. That's just me.
Same. I feel like the points that I brought up with TNC are also applicable for RSG. However, they are not as in a bad position as TNC are. I mean, RSG already were able to get a win, ironically enough, over TNC. And when they went up against Omega in week number 1, game number 2, it really was just down to one missed call, one bad decision that eventually meant that Omega would turn it around out of one big team fight in the jungle near the Scaled Lizard and the Purple Buff, if I'm not mistaken. However, for RSG, they have been having tendencies of showing their cores a little bit too early. Personally, and this is just me, I'm kind of not a big fan of Sicilian anymore because of his recent change. The fact that his spike time has increased by like 2 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, like around 2 minutes or so. That's how much longer it takes now for it to really feel like, okay, it's Sicilian time, you know. And then it's Sicilian time, yeah. And then up against Onyx time. I felt like that was one of the most questionable draft series that RSG has shown. Not only because of course, them showing their 1-1 in Sicilian early. I do like the glue pick, don't get me wrong. The idea is there. I like it. But the fact that Onic also got to play RSG in the draft, game number 1 they had Diggy. They were up against a Hilda for light. So what's a Hilda gonna do to against a Diggy, especially if it's a Diggy that is forcing a double gold lane start. And then for game number 2, Onic got their hands on their Selena, which historically before Coach Panda has had said that he's kind of iffy with picking up Selena like himself, but that was the meta last year, and then now there is more room for Selena to shine even more so, and Super Friends punished them with that. So RSG, I feel like they are on the right track, but I feel like that Onyx match was a big wake up call. Definitely, it will light a fire under them.
Ano ako? 50-50 ako on the Sicilian and 50-50 on the glue. Something just tells me that on that day, they just woke up and said, we're gonna play glue. Parang ganon. Pero I like it. I'm with you there in the fact that I like it. Parang may plano. But at least what we can say for RSG is at least we can pinpoint where they can adjust. Kaya parang mas okay pa sila compared to TNC. I don't know. Sonah, how about you? Like, real quick, ano yung mga pwede pang ayusin kay RSG para mas maganda na yung rampa nila towards defending their title?
Honestly, I feel like dun lang talaga sa draft eh. Like, yes, I know it's a risk, it's a gamble, given na you are gonna be picking that glue. Pero kasi, imagine if it worked, right? Then there's gonna be another thing na kailangan i-considera ng mga teams when they head up against RSG. So, right now, I feel like they're still taking their chances with those picks na kinukuha nila kasi it might work for them in the future, and then if it stopped na or if it didn't work now, gaya ng nangyari nga sa kanila in their previous matchup, okay, we're gonna scrap it, we're gonna focus on what we usually do. And talking about the MSC lineup, I like the fact na kahit hindi sinasalang si Nats is still always or still going with them in part of the player lounge, right? That's what I like about this RSG team. Lahat ng mga players nila nandoon palagi sa player lounge. Like, they're always giving their insights, they're always giving their tips, manalo, matalo, they're still having the same mentality. What I like about this team a lot more is the fact that they don't want to deem themselves as the strongest team anymore, like what we've seen in the interview from before, right? It's because they want to never underestimate a team porket na sila yung top dog ngayon. And now, being in this position, mas lalo lang silang magugutom to get the victory altogether. And this is what I like about this team. They're not taking, they managed to take all of their chances in like the first 2 weeks, pero pakiramdam ko ngayon, game time na for them.
Yeah. So, wishing the best for RSG, PH, and TNC. In our next topic, bawi tayo ng konti sa TNC because the way that they performed in Season 9 is actually very reminiscent of what we're seeing now in S10 or baliktad ba? Onic in S10 looks like TNC Season 9. Yes, yun. But again, the main highlight here is how Onic is actually taking over because it looks like they're saying it's our time, it's Onic time. After grinding the amateur scene, Monster Anarchy is now taking over MPL Philippines Season 10, and they're winning us over. At least for me, for sure, and Renmar Santa Cruz. More on that why later, alright? Because look, Season 9 TNC is very, very similar to Onic now, because look, they're in third, and they have the same amount of points as Omega and Blacklist. International champions. Tapos, ang kinukumpara mo, amateurs, right? Or at least amateurs in the MPL. Let's put up Season 9 TNC here. Look at what TNC is doing, right? TNC actually finished the regular season second. Only second to RSG. Ayan, no? See? And they were rookies. They were super rookies here. So, I love it. This proves that that they belong here in the MPL and that the amateur scene is definitely something to be respected. Na parang pwede ka maghanap dyan ng mga diamonds in the rough, right? I think Sonah specifically has casted a lot of Onic before they became Onic. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. Although I kind of want to go way back from your comparison before, for me, I don't know kung nasabi na, ko na to sa inyo, but this is looking to me more like a work Oster for Season 7. Na parang, oh my God, sige, gana tayo ng sobra. Na parang rookies going in, and then, well, I'm like, who are these guys? How are they this strong? Like they just give us so much surprises, and at the same time, ito yung ginagawa ng Onyx ngayon, right? And given the fact na, ayun nga, I've seen these guys a lot of times already, and they continuously manage to impress me, and it's a no-brainer, and they do deserve this position. Pero yung ano kasi, yung veteran presence din, like, alam mo yon, usually may kaba ka paminsan-minsan knowing that you guys are rookie. Pero I like the fact that Kekedot and si Der ay nandun together with Ryota.
And Ryota.
Three guys are holding the line for them na nakakatuwang pansinin na natatanggal yung pressure with them eh. Like, I like the composition wherein parang most of them are like, okay, sige, hayaan na muna natin sila to explore themselves. Pansin nyo, si Dare and si Ryota lang yung nagpapalitan. Dalawang veterans that would usually be part of like a main lineup. But instead, sila yung nagpapalitan, and they let the four others try to do things their own way. And it's like their way for them to introduce themselves in the league. And what would you know, right? They're already right over here. 8 points, tied with Blacklist and Omega. And this is what you would like to see from them.
Okay, I love it. I love it how far back you went, Sonah. Kaya pala I feel so strongly about this Onyx is because it reminded you of work. And that was my squad, that was my team. Kaya pala sobrang nagpa-fanboy ako for Onyx now. And as well, you forgot one vet. Coach Bluffzy. Coach Bluffzy is amazing. He's an MPL champion. And ayun, I love it. I love it. Renmar, why do you love Onyx as much? Because, I said why, and again, the numbers speak for themselves. Pero bakit, why are you such a fan of Onyx this time?
Think of it as a story. I wrote something about Onyx recently, which you'll see somewhere, where I said, where is that? I said, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Heavier is the head that inherits the long-held dream of one. And it's beautiful how in this season with this new MPL-PH roster, they decided in terms of their first, let's start outside of the game, their branding. They brought back Onyx Magic. They're also using Onyx Time, and it feels like
to mix results.
In a story,
let me just say to mix results.
To mix results. Yeah, if you write the story of Onyx,
honestly saying,
it's like you've taken the elements of the first MPL-PH squad from season 4, wherein they come in, surprise everyone. However, they're not really changing the game. They're just playing their game incredibly well. There's a comment here from Excalibur that said how they layer crowd control. Oh man, how they do that on top of each other. Rapid Dude and Super Friends, how they combine that it's brilliant. So that's how it reminds me of like Onyx season 4. And then it sort of reminds me of the new Onyx in season 7, wherein you have someone who is a potential young superstar taking the mid laner role. That's what happened in season 7 when it was Kyrie, who was still in the mid at that time. He wasn't back to jungle just yet. And then you combine it with season 8 and season 9 Onyx time, where you get a little bit of the roster shuffle because they can switch out there and Ryota, and it still somehow changes a certain layer of their game, and they're suddenly coming out of the gate playing incredibly well, playing really cleanly. Not perfect games, but blockbuster matches. Reminded me of Onyx S8 especially. So with that identity, it's like really they owned their past, and now if you write it like a story, let's say MPL-PH, and I'm not saying they will, they make it all the way to the finals and maybe win it all.
They can.
Pre, as a storybook, ang ganda. Ang ganda tignan nun, ang ganda pakinggan nun. It just feels so poetic, and that's why this MPL-PH squad has grown on me so fast.
And I don't blame you. Man. It is what it is, and this MPL-PH is definitely earning that title of Onyx. And of our respect and love. Real quick, before we move on to a break, let's do some shout outs, saying what's up to Good Guy, the Eman, and the LC on YouTube, and to our friends on Facebook as well, and to Kumu. Shout outs to you guys. Kumusta? We see here Brooke, we see Gian, Hannah, and Muhammad from Malaysia. How you guys doing? You know what? I'm loving the insight. You guys see a lot of stuff that we don't on the desk, so please keep them coming. We'll be back because after the break, please, I hope you stay with us. We have Power Picks, we have Power Rankings, and we have Guest Coin, of course, our classic segments. On behalf of Sonah and Renmar and everyone at Kovenry, it's Leo. We'll be right back. What's up, mga ka-recall? Special shoutouts to our friends na mga kakumu. You're gonna be seeing this on a vertical screen. I hear there's a lot of you. All 300-something of y'all. Maraming salamat. Welcome to the show. Let's bring back in our guests. Ako nga pala si Leo at your service. We're here with Renmar Santa Cruz and Sonah, and we're gonna dive in to our power picks for week 2 of MPL Philippines. Renmar, you're first. Are you ready? Say it again. Are you ready?
I'm ready. There we go.
Perfect.
Yes, I'm ready.
Third time's the charm. Let's get into it.
Okay. Power picks. This is where we pick the power of player of the week. And my player of the week is Rapidude. I went with Rapidude because I wanted to highlight him because of the choices of the other gentlemen with me here. Fine choices as well, but I really wanted to show some extra appreciation for Rapid Dude. Ever since week 1, he's been a sleeper hit for Onyx, whether it be as a setup tank, whether it be as someone who's more on the utility side, but I think it is really just setup tank that he plays a lot. Man, impressive. He pairs up so well with Super Friends. Sometimes watching them play together, it's like they have some sort of a telepathic thing going on, But I'm sure it's just really good voice comms because they have headsets anyway. But yeah, Rapid Dude, great setup tank player, a great rotations, knows when to time his abilities to maximize combinations with this mid laner and the rest of the team. So that's why my player of the week is this guy right here, Rapid Dude. Yay! Are we gonna do the other pick now? Does it go straight to that? It will, right?
To play.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll do the play of the week this time around, and this is a play that I feel like maybe went under the radar for some people, but it was impressive because first off, this was NXPE finding themselves in a good position to turn the game around and finally take control of it. But then Onyx saw NXPE, caught NXPE. However, it was NXPE who actually caught Onyx off guard. Onyx knew or had a small idea of what they were walking into. But NXPE, with the positioning in their map at the start of this play, they were the ones who held a good advantage to potentially win that team fight. Somehow, the Lord also ended up joining in that team fight as well, got some crucial knockups in that affected both teams. As you're gonna see here, Nets would actually get the crossbow of Tang off so clutch. You see him flying there, but he was just a hit or two from going down. The reason why his health bar got back up is because of his lifesteal, and then he pops the Wind of Nature just in time. So this was a sleeper hit of a play for me, and it was the one that sealed the victory for MPL-PH, because after this, NXP just couldn't recover anymore, which was a shame because this was, again, it was NXP doing something really good, finding a turnaround potential, and then somehow Onyx going, it's turnaround time for us, and we'll win it. Yeah. And they did. So that's my play of the week. And for my
They didn't win on the spot. They didn't win on the spot, pero it bought them the comeback.
Exactly. It bought them the space for them to make a comeback. And because of that last play and some terrific performances, interesting drafts wherein you just saw the same draft over and over again, but with slight variations, my hero of the week is 1-2. I like calling her 1-2, even though 1-1 is still also 2 syllables. So, 1-1. Pinakamalupit na marksman hero ngayon sa meta alongside Beatrix and Claude. But I feel like it's like 1-1 Beatrix and then Claude like just right under. 1-1, such a great pick that if it's open in the first phase, immediately it's picked right away. Sobrang bihira lang yung mga moments na hindi nakalusot si 1-1 in the first phase. I think there was just literally one game where si 1-1 ay na-ban, even though she was open in the first phase na hindi siya pinik, she was banned out. But yeah, 1-1, such a great hero, so fun. And if there are any marksman main out there who love using Leslie, who love using Hanabi, Layla in your RG, more power to you. Pero kung naghanap kayo ng mga bagong picks sa gold lane, subukan niyo yung 1-1. Malupit.
Like what you did there.
Those Leslie mains. Oh, real quick. If I'm not mistaken, canon na ba yata yun? Na si 1-1 and Yin are a thing. I think they're a couple. I don't know if that's true. Or if that's actually written into the lore. Yeah, with that being said, wala lang. Share ko lang. Sonah, tell us your power picks. Go ahead. Don't get derailed by my weird lore trivia.
Alright, man, I got you. Well, basically, I'm a mainstream guy, so these are no-brainer picks for me, especially what I saw from week number 2. So there you have it. It's Super Friends for me. Oh, I was pertaining to the other side. So yeah, Super Friends is indeed the week 2 MVP that was declared in the MPL Philippines page, and it's also my declaration towards my player of the week, given that there was just so much clutch pickoffs from that Selena and Diggy. And I think there were also some instances na parang nalilito tayo kung sino ba talaga yung roam between Super Friends and Rapidot, just because of the thought that Super Friends kind of brought back that Diggy use as a mage, yung taking time bombs na todo talaga yung damage, and yung placing and mechanical ability ni Super Friends to not only place the ticking time bombs but also allot the arrows na kung sakaling hindi man tumama, the pressure is already there for them to be able to use it to their advantage. And yeah, which is why Super Friends deservingly so winning week 2 MVP, and hopefully he may be the anchor for the team. Proceeding to my play of the week, it is indeed gonna be that Echo Omega base race, man. Parang pag pinapanood ko to, parang ayoko na lang magsalita. Kasi it just explains so much. Like, take a look at it, right? Right when everything was about to be lost, and then the Lord just suddenly appeared, rise and knocking on the table dun sa may ibaba, at biglang nabuhayan ng barangay, right? Echo, they were so close, and Renzo had his flashbacks from season 4 wherein ginugusto niyang depensahan talaga ng todo yung base nila just so they would be able to last another game in the grand finals, and they were able to do so. And this time around, parehas yung nangyari, but it was the opposite as Renzo was the one trying to finish it all up for good, and it was Trimar desperately trying to defend for the series win na gusto nila, but it was just too much, right? Kita mo sa mapa, it was the Grak, it was the Thomas, it was Claude up against the lone Pakito ni Trimar, and yeah, man, it was just too much for me, and so many emotions were right over there at the table. Pero ibang klase yung naging matchups na yun. Probably one of the best sequences of MPL history, if I can say. And yeah, my hero of the week is gonna be Selena, because I did stick with Super Friends as my player of the week, and I feel like siya yung bumuhay ulit sa Selena so far in this matchup, which is why I really like the way he managed to utilize the skill set of Selena. But this also goes to show na nagiging impactful talaga siya when used at the right place, and especially at the right time. Not only to give vision, but also to give immense pressure during the early game.
I love that your hero was Selena, because I don't think we respect Selena as much anymore these days, especially in the MPL. Rank games still a monster, pero in the MPL, I like that players like Super Friends are putting it back into the spotlight. Her into the spotlight. But real quick, wait lang. Now that we saw the power play again, the whole Renzio thing, I did notice na sinusuntok nga pala ni Renzio yung base. I didn't notice that there was this one Uranus just going, why don't you die, base? So, wala lang. Kasi, honestly, I gotta admit, while we were calling that match, there was no logic anymore. Kung pinakinggan kami English broadcast, we were just going, ah! Ah! That was it. There was no sense in that. I can't believe we got paid to just shout into a microphone. But yes, that's what
It's the
happened.
unstoppable force versus the immovable object.
Exactly, yes, but eventually Renzio died. But anyways, thanks for sharing your picks, folks in chat as well. On YouTube, you guys can do the same, all right? And Kumu. Let me share mine, all right? My turn for my power picks. And let's start with my player of the week. And it's none other than Filipino Savage, Kelra. Again, Renmar mentioned the numbers. I don't know what the final KDA was, but it's something ridiculous. If you said so-and-so did not die over a series and did this and this, I would say you're lying, except it actually happened and it's Kelra. So ayun, I think he really popped off this weekend, and he's my player of the week. Next up, my play of the week. Sige, play it na rin kasi nakakatawa eh. Play it again. It's this one right here. The whole base race. The whole base race. In recent history, I think this is possibly my dumbest call yet. And it's not because it's dumb because I made a mistake, it's because the play was ridiculous. If Renmar was on the desk too, I'm pretty sure he would have also just shouted.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Just gasped
I
and
probably
just
would have. A swear word would have possibly slipped.
There you go. I was gonna say.
I feel like everyone was just shouting at this moment.
Oh,
Yeah, you
for
might
the
just
lack
end up hearing me
of
shouting like, "I potato!" Ah!
oh my god.
Yeah.
yeah. That would have been it. I would have gotten a slap on the wrist from Moonton Daddy or something, or Mommy. Basta, yes. This is the play of the week, and alam niyo na yun, guys. Just watch it if you haven't yet. But watch it with the build-up. Watch it by following game 1, game 2 yon. Pangit kapag yung moment lang mismo, but this is my play of the week. And, of course, my hero of the week, last but not least, is not Uranus, not Selena, not 1-1, but, well, again, because of how much respect he still has, despite the change to the jungle emblem, he's still good as a roamer, and he's still better as a jungler, and he now has that skin. The dragon. So, ayun, tawa ako, I think, during last game or last series of the weekend. Okay, are we back? Are we back? Okay, I think we're back. Are we?
Little by little.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. We just got skadooshed. All right. Welcome back. Live from the Spirit Realm. I'm here again. So the Spirit Realm can't hold me because I'm Dragon Warrior. I am a Master of Chi. But anyways, yun yan, okay? Hero of the Week is Akai. I'm gonna be looking out for your power picks in the chat. But for now, let's round out the show with our power rankings and guest coin. Okay, game na. Sonah, go ahead, share with us your power rankings for the week.
Alright, fam. Got you. So, power rankings, technically, it was kind of the same in my first week. Honestly, hindi pala. Kasi meron mga slight changes. But yeah, displaying, first off, is indeed gonna be Blacklist. Given na sila lang yung team na wala pang talo sa recent period of time na naglalaro sila. And second for me is Onyx. Pinagtatalunan ko in my head if I should place Omega over Onyx. But this time, I wanted to put Onyx first given na, ayun nga, Super Fins yung selected as the MVP of the week. And naging malaki talaga yung impact niya in terms of their wins. And yung total contribution ng everyone ay nakatulong talaga given na paiba-iba sila ng lineups. And now, Omega will be my third spot. And Omega, they kind of also do the same thing. It's honestly very surprising kasi yung Smart Omega ngayon, yung parang Onyx Philippines nung Season 8 na nagbabago-bago sila ng roam, nagbabago-bago sila ng mid lane, but they still manage to win a lot of games and clutch it out even so. So it's the familiarity and comfortability of the players that won it for me to be placed in the third place. Fourth is Echo. They've managed to clutch out some big wins for themselves. And the fact na meron silang dalawang lineups that could easily go forward head-on sa kung kahit sino man. We've seen Echo proud. Kumbaga, dito sa dalawang teams na meron sila, wala kang masasabi na Team A or Team B because Team A sila parehas and they're always gonna be ready for battle once the coach wants them to go to the Land of Dawn and, you know, make them win a lot of games. So yeah, Echo is gonna be number 4 for me. NXP naman is gonna be at my number 5 spot. Yes, they did manage to win a couple of games, but also lose some, which is why they're at the middle of the pack. Pero I feel like magkakaroon pa sila ng recent adjustments. Miko won Week 1 MVP, and a lot of people are starting to come together. Donuts getting a lot of GPM, And there is also a possibility that through the help of Yeli Hayes, most especially dahil siya nga ay motivated na maibalik ang kanyang kupunan sa international stage, we'll see a lot better from the side of the Neon Tigers. And then RSG is gonna be at my number 6 spot, given that they did win a clean sweep against DNC from like the former week that we've had. And I feel like nako-close out nila yung mga games. Like there were a couple of games, I believe, that they've reached 3 games, or that they've not been swept in their losses. And I feel like RSU would be able to come back from this if they just manage to allocate the resources not only in the draft but also especially pagdating doon sa kanilang execution. Kenji and Nats would also work, but I feel like medyo matatagalan pa for us to be able to see the other players. Pero if they surprise us for week 3, why not? I'd be more than happy to see Irad, Kusei, and the others play for RSG at the same time. Bren is gonna be at my number 7 at this moment, given that they've already had their share of wins. But still, ang nakakatuwa naman dito about Bren Esports is that they would still be able to, learn from this easily. Kasi sila yung type ng team na meron ding champion coach who already has a lot of veteran experience. And given that some of the members of the main 5 na meron tayo ngayon are not usually having a lot of opportunity from next season, mas gigil sila na makabawi, most especially now. So hopefully, the right picks and at the same time, yung mga right sets of skills na pwede nilang gamitin during the perfect time would be able to get them a lot of points come week 3. And of course, last but not least would be TNC at my number 8. TNC hasn't really won a game just yet this season, and it's not going to be an easy route because teams are already starting to rack up points. But yeah, it will also boil down on the connection and the shot calls, and most especially pagdating doon sa draft. Like, medyo naging iffy ako doon sa draft na nagkaroon sila. Most especially, it was somewhat familiar doon sa mga pinipick nila last season. But if they would be able to execute it with some meta picks to back it up, baka sakaling they would be able to get themselves out of hole and get some points as well. So yeah, tower rankings, ending it up.
You gotta pose. Did you pose? Was that your pose? Your
yeah.
Good boy smile?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I think that's
cool.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a good boy prediction for the good boy smile.
Okay. The charisma speaks for itself. All right.
Yep. Got it, man.
All right. Inside joke. MPL
Sometimes I don't
casters
know what my
inside
name
joke.
is, man.
Sometimes you don't know what people's names are. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about my power rankings. Sunod na ako so that I can show you how to pose. Okay, real quick. Joke lang. Let's go from number 1. My number 1 is Blacklist International. Okay, still walang kakupas-kupas. Again, I've said on many outlets that this is my dream team, the M3 squad, and they're back together. And they're still here. So that's Blacklist International. Number 2 is the team that currently has my heart, at least from a storyline perspective. And slowly their gameplay is also proving to be very potent. Onic Philippines. At least this Onic Philippines. As much as I love the old Onic, ito iba rin talaga to eh. So the Monster Anarchy Onic. It's our time. It's Onic time. Yan. And then my number 3 is, low-key. I'm a barangay member. I have my barangay ID. Idea smart. Why don't you do that? Start sending out barangay IDs for your barangay members. Smart Omega. Super love Smart Omega, their content, the way they play, the way that they switch up. Miko Kielvij and Eto Max Chakno. I don't know which I like better, honestly. Number 4, Direct, do me a favor. I don't remember who my number 4 was because this middle part of my power rankings is a blob. Kasi nahirapan ako dito. There it is. Yeah, next Leivos. I love their innovators of offense style of draft and gameplay. Again, sobrang favorite nila mag-Dairoth. Sobrang favorite nila if they can get their hands on a Beatrix or Donut knows how to play an Iritel. So ayun, sobrang gusto ko lang talaga yung firepower-centric gameplay nila. Number 5, if I'm not mistaken, is Is it Echo or RSG? Oh, it is RSG. Okay, yes. I like how they put up Kenji back into the lineup, and that's why I put him up at 5th. Because I think it's that veterancy, the fact that Clutch Time Kenji is here now to hunker down and take care of this mostly young lineup. Again, nandiyan naman si Aqua, na matagal na rin sa liga, but I think Kenji is doing wonders for the lineup. So that's why I put him at 5th. And the number 6 is is Echo. There you go. I put him here because I personally believe they should have let Echo Loud find their footing first. Pero, much to my chagrin and to the pleasure of OSX, they let Echo Proud play immediately, week 2. I think he's the one who said from last week's recall, sabi niya, hindi, actually, buy ako dito, buy. Baka maglaro agad yung Echo Proud. And they did. I think maybe twice or thrice this weekend, para tumingin sa akin, and then, Echo Proud, guest coin. Gumano siya sa akin. It's like, Echo Proud, guest coin. I'm like, yeah, you got it right. So, yeah, 50-50 ako sa switching it up that quickly, but happy to see Daddy JP's back. And then 7 and 8, that's Bren and TNC. Not much to say here, except well wishes. I hope you guys figure this out. Pero for Bren, I think they have to work on some communications, especially in the draft. They need to work out their priorities there to make more, well-rounded decisions when they go into scaling early, mid, and late. And then TNC, napag-usapan natin kanina, how they can make it back on top. Meta and, synergy withstanding. So this is my power rankings for week 2. I wonder how week 3 will shake it up. Pose, screenshot 3, 2, 1. Yeah, blue steel.
Yes!
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh, so that's how you do it, huh?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh.
I see you.
Okay, Philippines, they're so hot right now. Okay, Renmar, go ahead. Your turn.
All right, power rankings. Can we start from the bottom going up? Voice in my head, who is also the one in charge of the graphics, is okay, right? I can start bottom going up. Yeah. Cool, nice. Okay, so we'll start with TNC Pro Team. Results are the explanation for this. Let's leave it at that. RGPH is at number 7. Oh, by the way, before I continue with this, for those who aren't used to me doing the power rankings, I heavily update them depending on what happened in the week. So these aren't like, I know some people approach their power rankings as the totality of, like, let's say week 1 then week 2, and then that's their power ranking. For me, it's like more for like based on what really happened for the week. So that's my approach. We all have our own approaches to power rankings. RGPH finally able to get that win. Very good for them. It's just that the reason why I put Bren Esports in number 6 is because comparing the results of Bren Esports and RG, you're probably wondering, hey, but Renmar, Bren Esports lost both of their series 2-0 this week. What's going on? Shouldn't RSGPH be over Bren Esports? But for me, I put Bren Esports over RSGPH because those 2-0 losses had some really, really good performances in them as well, and had some really close calls, really close games. RSGPH, on the other hand, yes, again, very well deserved that they got the win over TNC. It was a 2-0 victory. It's just that the far cry and then their performance compared to their match in Onyx PH, comparing it to what they did in TNC, it was just such a big disparity that in my power rankings for week 2, I put Bren Esports over RSGPH. Now for number 5, that's where I put in NXP. Only played one match this week, but it was a banger of a series against Onyx PH. I liked how NXPE were drafting. Nico got the MVP. Oni series, they lost. However, it's still a respectable position, so I put next play Evos there. Number 4, that's where I put Echo. Number 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Echo, yeah. Wow, I'm so bad at math. So with Echo, on the other hand, it was because, they were able to sweep Brent 2-0. They lost to Omega. However, that was a really good series. And it was also their Echo Proud lineup, not the Echo Loud lineup with Carl TZ. It was Echo Proud. It was their debut against Omega. They almost swept Omega. but just like quite literally divine intervention, because it's the Lord that helped Omega. Omega were able to turn it around. But I like what Echo Proud is showing. So they're my fourth for this week, number 2. And then for number 3, people are gonna be surprised about this. Disclaimer Tar. This is where I put Blacklist International. They only played one game. However, this is not to undermine. You relax. You relax.
Hey, yo.
Hindi ko
I'm the
ina-undermine
voice
yung
of the
resulta ng
comment section.
Blacklist. Nang ginawa ng
Why,
Um,
bro? Why?
I am getting to the explanation. I am getting there. Ano ba yan? Okay. So, yeah.
Now you may.
One match for this week. Very, very good performance against Brand Esports. Got nothing against Blacklist International. It was a very strong showing. Haji playing Poke Mages is just still so good. Diggy on the hands of Oh My Venus is a absolute monster. People are gonna be having nightmares about Diggy. Edward playing great, Oheb playing great. Wise, we get to see Demon Slayer Assassin with a Demon Slayer Benedetta. So there are 3. So this is why I'm putting again, this is updated based on this is like a week per week power ranking. So
In a vacuum, no?
it's
In an
time to
isolated,
put
yeah.
it's an isolated vacuum. If you ask me for power rankings for week 1 and 2 in the season so far, Blacklist International is gonna be on top there. And it's time for me to put my this one. This is my disclaimer tar. There we go. It's time for disclaimer tar. Yeah, there.
Obvious pala.
Because people are gonna be screenshotting me
love
already. Okay.
He's ready, bro. He's
So for number
ready.
2,
He's ready.
number 2. What did I put for number 2 again? Kaya direct tulong naman dito. Nawala yung listahan ko. There, okay. Smart Omega I put there because 2-0 wins. 2-0 wins. They had 2 series this week. 2-1 win over Echo in a barnstormer of a series. 2-0 over TNC. And Killer having that insane stat line. They also fielded 2 variations wherein KelVJ was also played and Miko. So, boom. I love it, man. I love it. They're playing really well with the rotations. And then number 1, who else? MPL-PH. Their performance against RSGPH is, yes, there might be some people saying that, but RSGPH are still trying to find their footing, blah blah blah. I hopefully no one's actually saying that, because it will discredit the efforts of that MPL-PH squad, what they did to RSGPH in those 2 games. And then of course they had a really great series with NXPE. They're still highlighting their great plays. So yeah, these are my power rankings for week number 2. There you go. And for my post, I'll go with this.
Cool.
It's a
All right.
thumbnail.
That covers your bases. All right.
There
That
we go.
covers our bases.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Good.
Okay.
F-us.
Sige. Spicy. Okay. Sige. I wonder what this week's episode of OMSIM is like, if it's gonna be F-us. But here today, at least we set our wait. Things are moving over there. But ayan. All right.
No!
If y'all missed it, let's go ahead and close up the show with our favorite guest coin. Our friends on Facebook, YouTube, and Kumu, y'all can join as well. Buy or sell, yun lang yun. Kung naniniwala kayo sa statement, buy. If you don't, sell, and then you can explain why, okay? Simple lang. Let's get into it and start with our first statement. Here we go. It's about TNC. Let's put up their match for this week. It's TNC versus Echo. Doesn't matter if it's Echo Loud or Echo Proud, but do you believe TNC will get their first win in week 3? Buy or sell?
game or series?
Damn, that's tough. You know what? That's tough. I think,
Yeah, that's true.
sige,
That's true.
buy ako, especially if it's Echo. If it's Echo Loud, weirdly enough. Buy ako if it's Echo Loud. They will win a game at least. So, kaya buy. You know why? Because I think Cram will do better against Sanford's style of XP laning. If it's
True.
Sanford. Kasi kung Trimar yan, hindi makakahinga si Cram. I feel like. And so far, I think TNC's game is very XP dependent. Kasi nga, di ba, they want to win Turtles. And if you want to win Turtles, you want to win that XP lane. So if it's Sanford, I feel like cross map muna yun eh. Trimar is more like right here, like you're mine. So yun, I think if that's the case, I'll buy.
Yeah, I'm I want to be the optimist in this situation. So if it's a game, I'll buy it. I'll buy it there. I feel like there has been enough that has happened to them, enough experience so far that I see TNC getting a game win. It's gonna be a tough series for sure. Whatever
We'll see.
lineup of Echo, but yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I might also have to buy on this one, given they're only gonna have one game this season, or one series, right? So if we're pertaining to a game, or if they would win a single game, it is of high probability and possibility. Kasi Echo lang yung kailangan nilang panggandaan eh. Either or even if it's either Echo Loud or Echo Proud, 'di ba? Meron silang alam ngayon na chance na kailangan nilang i-prepare. Even if it's two different teams,
They can study
it's
both.
still the
Yes.
same squad, right? So kahit papaano, isa na lang yung kailangan nilang problemahin, and hopefully they would be able to do so. But yeah, you guys are right. It's gonna be a tight series because Echo is also on a roll. Natigil lang sila ng Omega from that one match. But hopefully they would be able to regain their composure. Most especially TNC because, you know, teams are starting to stack up in terms of points and they also need to have their own.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you know what? I love how chat, both YouTube and Facebook and even Kumu, might probably be split. I don't know the numbers, pero they're saying buy and sell, both of them. And then they're also asking, like, game ba yan or series? What are they gonna win? And I love what you brought up, Sonah. They only have Echo to study, and they have references for both Loud and Proud. So it is very probable. Let's move on to the next statement. Let's clear the board here. For those, again, who are new here, buy means you agree with the sentence on the bottom, and then sell means you don't. Next play Evos to field the other lineup in Week 3. Might we see El Piso, Renegade, Lancy, Kaizen, and Batut in Week 3? Are we gonna see these five faces in Week 3? And this is important because even the Next Play Evos Facebook page is hinting at Renegade coming in. And you all know how happy that makes me. You know how much I love the Hitman. So I'll say buy. Let's do it. Week 3 is the perfect time. The other teams are doing it as early as Week 1 na nagpapasok sila ng bagong team. But I'll say let's do it. Week 3. Please, Coach Pao.
Buy.
Let Batut play.
I think they'll do it,
Man.
And for this one, I really think it's gonna be. I'm saying buy, and I know you laid down the specifics of it. If it's gonna be all four, I personally don't think it's gonna be all four, but feeling ko enough changes that it will really feel like a different lineup. Maybe two or three players are gonna come in, and I'm gonna make mine even more specific. I feel like they're gonna do it against RSG.
Ooh. Do they have multiple matches this weekend?
For week 3, yes, they have Omega and then RSG.
Okay.
Yeah. It is a buy for me too. Like, it is a possibility for them. Lalo na it's still somewhat the early stages of, the tournament and the league. So pwede pa silang mag-try ng mga bagong lineups and strategies that only or probably LPs or NJ and the rest of the members would be able to execute. And if it doesn't work, they still have the same guys, H2O and the others. So baka sakaling yun yung pwede nilang gawin as of this moment, given that they are in a little bit of a safe spot. Fifth place is not that good, it's not that bad, it's safe, right? So there's still room for them to be able to execute the plays that they want with different players in. So yeah, bye for me.
I see. Okay, yeah, and I'm just happy to see Renegade come in and Batut. I just want to see Batut, bro. So we're all buy here. I think it's mostly buy as well. People are just agreeing with us na parang ito nga yung time to experiment. Why not? Kesa naman later on when it's actually clutch time. Let's clear the board. We're going to our next statement, and this one pertains to Barangay Omega. Smart Omega! They are their biggest enemy themselves. Omega, do we agree that they are the ones holding themselves back? Because if they really wanted to, I think, if they really wanted to, they can just dominate. They're capable of greatness. I'll just buy straight up. I think that their inconsistency is their own product. Because if they really wanted to, man, I think they can get there.
Yeah. I'm buying too, man. I'm buying too. 100%. Like, dude, I've talked to the people from the audience about this, and they were like so surprised with Omega's performance, man. I'm telling you, from like the past 2 weeks, sobrang nagugulat sila. And there's already speculations na will we finally see Omega at the upper bracket? It's like fans are really wanting to see that, because they've been rooting for these guys ever since na parang inconsistent nga wins and losses. But this time around, they're winning, right? And even Etomax made a status about this na parang gulat pa kayo, kami rin gulat din kami. Pero ngayon, ginugulat din nila yung liga. Kaya if they would be able to keep this up, man, parang wala eh. There's a slight possibility for them to be stopped and they would just keep rolling. So yeah, bye.
I think we're sitting at about 60-70% buy. There's a few of them saying sell. Pero yeah, mostly buy, I think. Yeah.
I'm gonna go sell for this one.
Ooh.
Because they're having the best start to a season since season. I think this is their best start so far. They didn't even
In
start
history.
this well in season 6 as X.
Yes.
S7 X started rough. S8 S9 Omega started really rough.
Dude,
Don't sell.
if you'll remember, Season 7 had like a 5-series lose streak.
Yeah, they opened it
true.
with a win and then they lost 5 in a row. Fun fact, they opened it with a win over Omega when they were still execration and then they went to the 5-game losing.
Oh, diba? So,
But
continue.
yeah, sell because for me, it's more of the losses they suffered this season were just their opponents were playing better. So I don't think it's their biggest enemy are themselves. I like how they're drafting. A few questionable decisions here and there, but then ultimately maganda yung galaw ng Omega, maganda yung laro ng Omega. Just right now, their biggest enemies are whoever's they're sharing the top spots with as the weeks go on, kung sino man yung mga teams na mas mataas yung points sa kanila. So it's a sell for me.
Okay. All right. It's less internal. For you, it's less internal, more actually around. All right. I think folks as well are starting to sell because of your brave choice here. So I think we're closer to 50-50 now. Say what's up to JMTZ, one of our lovely and intelligent writers from behind the scenes at MPL Philippines Season 10. Sell din daw siya. I wonder why. You can share, by the way. You can defend your buy or sell choice, no? Saying what's up to CDSG as well. Sad that ang Provinciano is over, but you're still around. So tell us more. I think we'll track it kung ganyan nga ang gagawin ng Echo in week 3. Let's clear the board. And go into the next statement. Blacklist. can go 14-0 in Season 10. This is their best record yet. Season 8, 13-1. Can they go 14-0 in Season 10? I think at first they have to go onsing laro bago matalo, and then we can start talking about it. But as early as week 2, how about it? Can they go 14-0 in Season 10?
I'm gonna go ahead and say sell, not because I don't believe in Blacklist, but it's only week 2. They're playing great. They're playing amazingly. They are undefeated. But for me, it's only week 2.
Okay. Just logically speaking, probability wise, okay, all right. Sige. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'll buy, and that's it. Bro, a 2-1 is still a win. A 2-1 still doesn't count towards that, eh. So you can have many 2-1s and still go 14-0. So,
Yeah.
that's it.
All right.
For me, it says can, right? It says can.
Yeah.
It doesn't say will. So if the question is they will go 14-0, that's like an immediate yes. Or like that's an immediate whoa, what are we talking about here? It's too early. But if they can go 14-0 given in the condition and the form that they are right now, it's a buy for me. But will they go 14-0 is the question, right? So yeah. Black can go, but will they go 14-0?
Yeah. I think the more interesting question is sino ang tatalo sa kanila. Iba-iba yung mga manok ng tao eh. Some are saying Echo can beat them. Some are saying Onic can beat them. I'd say round 2. If it's Eto Max Chakno, as much as I love Kel, VJ, and Miko, maybe that Omega can beat Blacklist. Pero, I don't know, man. Yeah, but if it's can, sure. A lot of people are saying sell. A lot of people are saying sell. Like, it's mostly sells. All right. Anyways, let's clear it. Let's clear the board and go into a couple of international statements. How about it? PH International Reunion to happen at M4. Buy or sell? Are we gonna see Zico?
Buy!
Coach Yev?
Buy!
Hate?
Come on, man. This
Coach
is a buy,
Ryzen?
man.
Let's
Buy!
just buy.
Come on, man.
Us. Buy
Come on,
us.
man.
Buy.
Buy us. Buy us. Buy us. Buy.
Buy.
This is
All right,
buy,
folks.
man.
OFWs or Filipinos who have relocated to Jakarta, start preparing your sinigangs, your adobos, your Jollibees. I don't know, dude.
Everything.
Your bananas.
Kare-kares.
Your sagings, your sisigs, because they're all
Why
coming
bananas?
over. I don't know, Renmar, why bananas? Kasi Onic time? Banana
Yeah,
split?
I remember that was our thing, bananas for Onic. Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Alright, okay, alright. So yeah, clear. It's clear. I don't know. We have some friends on YouTube who are saying sell. Oh no. There's an Indonesian fan who says buy. I love it. Good guy. You're a good
Let's
guy.
go.
Oh, but Alan says
Real
sell.
G.
Okay.
I will see them all, man. I want to see Burnex Flash. I want to see what team coach, I forgot the name of the team coach, Zenison. Sure he could do it. I want to see SMG. I want to see Hate there. I want to see all of them.
Yes.
A big reunion. And then when they're having their off, their meals during downtime, hopefully they serve them some Filipino food and they don't serve Baloyski Filipino food in M4.
Make him strong again. He needs the food.
He's the food.
Give him Filipino food. Umabot ng M4. Ang geek fam.
Yep.
He
Let's
needs
go.
to experience
Yep.
the Serapian experience.
Yep. Or have
Yes.
freaking BTR there. Get Marky and get Coach V over there. Rendini.
Yeah.
Evos Legends. Get Delar to kick ass. I don't know. Basta. Yeah, it's gonna happen. All right. It's gonna happen. All right. So down to our last statement here. Let's clear the board. This one is also pertaining to the M series, and in light of the prize pool being part of the trailer reveal, it is similar to M3, an $800,000 prize pool. Now the statement goes, the M series needs a bigger prize pool. It's the talk of the town. This is one of the major comments that a majority of netizens have been blasting on all of the reveal trailers across social media. Do we buy or sell? Again, for perspective, it's the same amount of money on the line as M3. M2, there was a huge jump, 300,000 USD to 800. Now it's 800 to 800. Buy or sell?
I'll start this off and say buy, but if you guys are gonna screenshot it, please add the explanation or just clip this moment right now. So it's a buy for me because the statement is M series needs a bigger prize pool. Yes. Hence why M series with each installment gets bigger and bigger kasi lumalaki yung prize pool from the values that Leo mentioned. Am I saying that M4 needs to change things up and make the prize pool bigger right away? No. But for the growth of the esports scene, for the maturity of the esports scene, of course it needs to go up. As future installments come in, M5, M6, all the way to M10 when we get there, because it just makes everything more prestigious. Like, let's be honest, yes, teams are fighting for glory, teams are fighting for respect, for honor, but at the end of the day, this is a competition which is also their livelihood, and inflation, all that, economics, yada yada yada. Yes, the prize pool needs to keep going, needs to go up. Does it have to go up each year? I don't think so. I feel like after like M3 and M4, 800,000, I'm okay with that. M5 and M6 will go up and then they'll have the same price pool. Like if it's like every 2 M series, tataas yung presyo, tataas yung price pool, I'm cool with that, you know? And, I feel like think about it, guys. Once we get to M5, I feel like M5 is when we'll finally break the $1 million mark. Because think about it. 5th World Championship, $1 million. It sounds really good. So, yes, that's my explanation. Inflation.
Yeah. It makes sense and I agree with you, sakto, but I'll be a realist. But I agree. Like I think we have to break that $1 million mark, or at least hit 1M very soon. And I think sakto M5. It's like you're following iPhones, right? Like parang every other number you introduce something significantly big. But yes, sell ako dito because I understand where we're coming from. We are barely out of the pandemic. And I think being a realist and maybe considering what's going on, yes, inflation is a thing. We hear ya. Inflation is a thing, and teams are now investing a little more. PH has a franchise league. The league here, especially, is a little more self-sustaining compared to previous years. But ayun, I just understand that there's more that goes into raising the prize pool. So for now, at least M4 specifically, okay lang. It doesn't need to be bigger. No change needs to happen between now and January. But M5, yon. M5, hopefully we go to 1M and it happens. But for now, goods lang. Okay lang. So sell for now, yes.
No, for me, honestly, I have to agree with Renmar on this one. Like, it's a buy for me, but I'm to the point where they raise it every two series, right? Like I like that idea. So for that idea alone, I'm gonna buy on this one. But M series is indeed one of the biggest, tournaments of the world for MLBB.
Yeah. Again, events and monumental things withstanding. Because just to put it into perspective, again, the teams or the countries involved in M4 are also very asterisk. That's another whole discussion that we can talk about. There's so many regions that are not represented or at least not invited.
That's true.
That were once part of the World Series of MLBB. Kaya din siguro parang may ganun may up and down. Maybe if we had like 18, 20, 24 teams who are invited, then for sure, diba? Easy yung 1M dyan. Or maybe more. But yeah, there's a lot of asterisks din kasi in deciding what that prize pool is. Despite the mother company, ByteDance, TikTok, Moonton, is going through, or whatever success the company has, it's still very intricate or complex, the decision making that they have to go through. But yes, we hear ya. It's a clear buy that we have to grow that prize pool, and I think that'll be instrumental in sharing and spreading the good word of MLBB in the world. I can't wait until like Africa or South Africa has MLBB. That's gonna happen soon, I hope.
Let's go.
Is MOA the biggest arena in the Philippines? Kasi baka M5 daw eh. You know, like we can fight for
Oh,
that.
it's the one in Bulacan.
Philippine arena?
Yeah.
Pwede yun. What if, right?
100,000.
Yeah. What if M4 has like all semifinals Filipinos? Then for sure you gotta host the World Championships here. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. That wraps up Guest Coin. Thank you so much for joining in. Let's clear the board and go back into our regular frames. Whoa! That's some early 2000s transitions for ya. We're about to close up shop. Thank you guys so much. Medyo mas mahaba tong show na to, but then again, there was a lot to talk about in week 2. Before we close up, let's have some final shout-outs and drop in your Sockmed and where people can find you next. Let's start with Renmar.
You can find me at Esports Reptar. That's everywhere. I'm consistently uploading on my TikTok now and on my YouTube as well, whether it be shorts or full videos. My series, first episode of Mono Legends, is up. Check it out. I have a clip on it on Facebook, on TikTok, and then the full video is on YouTube. Mono Legends, monologue plus legends. It's just gameplay and my monologuing. So, and you asked for a shout out, so I'm gonna read out the lyrics of a song released in 2016 by an artist called Little Mix. This is a shout out to my ex. Heard he in love with some other chick. Yeah, that hurt me, I'll admit. I'm just reading the lyrics. That isn't an actual shout out to my ex. Yeah.
Not at all.
Oh, and watch
Thank you
MPL.
so much.
Watch MPL week 3. Watch MPL. Watch MPL Philippines
love
week
it.
3 there.
Yeah, we'll be there for sure. Sonah is our courtside reporter there. Tell us what's up with you, man.
Hey, again, thank you so much for watching Recall. It is indeed another solid experience for us. I hope you guys had a lot of fun giving us your insights and giving us more pieces of information that we can consume also for the betterment of the broadcast and, of course, ourselves. And, of course, you can follow me, Sonah Esports. That's going to be my tag for all of the social media that I have currently. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Yes. Okay, I got that right. And yeah, you usually see me at courtside, but I feel like for week 3 I'm gonna do a little something a little different. So yeah, make sure to check that out for MPL Philippines.
Foreshadowing.
Okay.
I love it. Thank you, Sonah. As for me, it's right here. Kita nyo naman at LeoCastPH. I upload a couple of YouTube videos every week now. So right now, meron akong video on the greatest gold laners in all of MPL history. So fight me on that. Unless nag-agree kayo. But yeah, check it out. Watch it. Subscribe. And again, all over social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok also at LeoCastPH. With that being said, we're gonna close up shop. Thank you so much, Renmar and Sonah. On behalf of Direk, Sai, and Keith, salamat. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as well. Kovenry, TikTok, Kovenry Inc. And then on Kumu. Maraming salamat sa mga nakikulit via Kumu. With that being said, we're gonna close up tonight's episode of Recall. Kita-kits this weekend. We'll be putting up the MPL Philippines Week 3 schedule here. We'll see you there. Bye. Good night.